Kamen Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my video of everything great about Kamen Rider Saber so far. So I recently caught up on the series after a long hiatus and did my catch-up review and aired all my grievances and review-like things in there, but I actually did enjoy a lot of stuff in the rewatch, more than I expected, and I thought in a rare moment of optimistic Dawson, I would share with you everything I think is good about the series and worthwhile for checking out. Especially since I think the series has got a lot of negative press, for myself included, and even though I still have a lot of problems with the series, I think overall it's actually not as bad as some people think and offers some stuff for enjoyment. So let's get started. First of all, I didn't expect Kamen Rider Claws and Kamen Rider XA to appear in this series. I'm kidding. In all seriousness, first of all, I love the suit designs in this series. Some of them are a little bit crazy, but for the most part, I really just dig them, and the more time I got to spend with them watching it, I really like them a lot. Especially ones like, even though, again, it looks like Ryuga, I really like Calibur's power-up, I think it's awesome. Calibur's suit in general, I really like Dragonic Knight, I really like Espada, I really like the X-Aid-looking rider who I just keep calling X-Aid because I forgot his name because there's so many characters. I like Buster's suit, I just really like all the suits, and I like how they're very distinct from each other while also fitting in together. Even though I have some mixed thoughts on it in a way, I really do like the gimmick. I think it's really unique and cool. I think more than any other series I've seen in a while, it looks the most toy-like, which sounds funny because I know all of the belts and gimmicks do look like toys and they look ridiculous, especially in recent years, but I feel these are the ones that I most see the toy when I look at them. But that being said, I think the gimmick is actually really unique, the way they use the books and the way they combine them to create the story with the different forms, and I just think it's really cool, and like I love the way that they unsheath the sword to transform and it becomes the bigger sword, and I think there's a lot of really cool and innovative stuff about that. I also really do like the mythology and the setup of the series. They haven't always taken advantage of it in the proper way, but the general story idea behind it I think is pretty cool. The idea of the Night Order is pretty cool, and it has me at least somewhat interested in the lore of it that I hope we get more expansion on later, but I really do like that setup in general. I also think they do have a pretty solid sense of mystery in the series in terms of like Toma's past and what the Caliburs were all investigating and, you know, the stuff about the big Bible book they're after. And that is one of my favorite things about the Rider series that differentiates it from my like of Sentai is there's usually a mystery story, and it's not like the most intrigued I've ever been by a mystery, but I think they do a pretty good job of keeping me somewhat interested and delivering answers, which is nice. Like I think the sort of twist with Calibur was not only a nice twist, but it kind of furthered the mystery a little bit and answered some questions while posing some new ones. My hope is just that once we start to like answer them, we don't end up becoming boring. That was the thing that happened in 01, is that most of the mystery was solved after the first quarter, and then the rest of the series became a robots versus human debate. So I'm hoping that they do have a sense of intriguing mystery, and I think they do have a pretty good solid grasp on that. Character-wise, I really liked Kento's character. I mentioned that in my review, but I think he was one of the bright spots. He was the most interesting character for me, and I pretty much enjoyed all the time we had with them. I really like Buster's character as well. I'm a little bit annoyed at a lot of them right now because of the arc going on as of this filming of them fighting against Toma, but in general, I like Buster. He's like that classic, like, bulkier hero character that's just not as much of a bother and not loud or annoying, and he's just like a good dad. I don't know, I just like his character. I also like the tech guy, Texaid. I'm gonna call him Texaid because I'm forgetting his name. Like, there's not a whole lot to his character right now, but I just generally like him, and I like his suit and powers, and I like the way he gets crazier when he uses that one, like, musical power. And I did like that his debut, even though I think they could have waited longer for his, was a little bit more built up to in the sense that he was around for a little bit, even though he did just kind of appear out of nowhere. And I really have liked Yuri so far. I'm not like he's my favorite character in the show, but I like the interesting aspect of his character, the way he became one with the sword to protect things, and I think his debut had a lot better pacing. Like, they set him up a while back. They set him up back when I first started catching up, which was like over 10 episodes ago, so it was one of the first times the pacing in the series felt overall more natural, and I did appreciate that. Even though the series is very rushed and I wish they would slow things down a little bit, it's not that difficult of a watch, and I appreciate that we're not that episodic, and there's I want to say a decent pacing, but I'm talking about how it's too rushed, but I do appreciate that the story keeps moving. I think they could slow it down a little bit, but I do appreciate the more serialization, even if I wish they would slow it down. Two little quick rapid fires to end things off. During this catch-up, I actually wound up liking Mei more than I did at the beginning of the series. When I first started it, I was really annoyed by her, and I still think she can go a bit too over the top, but I actually didn't mind her during this bit. Also, it's pretty badass that when Caliber transforms into his power-up mode, it has like metal-sounding music. I think that was awesome. So that is everything that I think is great about Kamen Rider Saber right now. Maybe I'll do this again for other series or when the series ends, but since, there can be a lot of negativity around Saber, I thought it would be fun to look at the things I enjoyed about it. And if you took a break from it, I encourage you to maybe check it out. It's not my favorite thing ever, but it ended up being a much more enjoyable binge than I thought, even though I was very critical on it in the review. It still has some good rider enjoyment out there. But what do you guys think? What do you enjoy about Kamen Rider Saber? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can catch my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.